welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the beautiful TV show, The Business Coach. This is where I get to interview great business coaches from all over the world. I got Michael Dill here with me. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks
now,
for having
Michael's from the beautiful spot in Florida. Where is Coconut Creek?
Coconut Creek is right on the Palm Beach, Broward County line.
Palm Beach. So you're just north of Miami, I guess.
Yes, north of Miami, and we're basically live where everybody else wants to go this time of year.
All the icebergs come on down to visit.
Yes.
Now, Michael, you've been coaching there for a lot of years. You had a lot of good clients. What's some of your favorite clients, and what do you remember about them?
I think for most fun client I had was a gentleman named Eric. He was an attorney, and when I met
Hang on,
Eric,
an attorney that's fun?
he was fun because when we sat down, I asked him a few questions, and he was absolutely positively hysterical. He had absolutely his.
So hang on, you got an attorney with a sense of humor, and this guy's paying you to coach him. I like the sound of this already.
Well, the funny thing about him, I asked him, I said, what's your challenges with your business? He goes, my team has no accountability. They have no ownership. And I asked, I said, well, what kind of structure do you have?
Really? Lawyers trying to dodge ownership?
And it got to the point that...
Hang on, with no accountability, no ownership that the team takes on board, what was like staff turnover like, or what was the results with clients and customers like?
Actually, in 2 years, in a 9-person law firm, he lost 13 people.
So that's like it's 130, 140% staff turnover.
Crazy.
Wow. Okay, so obviously that's the first thing we got to fix.
Exactly.
How did you start fixing that?
The first exercise he had was to go home and write down all the names of the people that left in the last 2 years and the reasons why they left.
Oh, that's tough.
So he came back, and his response was, well, Brad was this, and Faye was that, and John was this. So he gave me all the reasons why they were messed up. I said...
Every below the point
exactly.
excuse that could
so
be.
I said, well, Eric, thank you very much for participating. We're going to do this again a little bit differently. We're going to go back and do it again, and you're going to write down all the reasons they left and what you could have done better to make sure it doesn't happen again, and we're going to put it in place so it doesn't happen again.
So, okay, lesson for business owners. What's going on in your business? I always said, Michael, that the fish stinks from the head down. That's like what I try and teach my clients, and until they're willing to take ownership, nothing's going to change.
Absolutely. And the funniest thing, Brad, was when he came back for the second session, I said, so how was doing the homework this time? He goes, whoa, it was a lot harder the second time. I'm sure it was.
When you can't blame your staff, it got harder? Amazing the way that works. So, okay, what did he have to do? Did he have to build a structure in with the team, like do an org chart? Where did you start with that
Absolutely.
stuff?
What we did is first we created the vision, mission, and culture, because I believe if you don't have a vision and mission and purpose of where you're going, your people are just clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah.
They have no purpose. So we created that with the team involved. And then, of course, we put the position agreements in place and the review process in place and the hiring process in place. And I remember the first time he goes, I have this girl, like, I'm ready to hire right on the spot. I was like, no, follow the process.
You know, one of the greatest things about business is that a lot of business owners are like high Ds, the dominant, must-do-it-now type people. I guess it must be painful for them to have... I mean, some people it's painful to have a coach because we make them speed up. Others it's painful because we make them slow down. This guy was obviously a slow down guy.
He did not want to go outside of his comfort zone. When I first said about the team ownership and such, I said, well, tell me about the meetings you have. He goes, well, I don't have meetings. I said, well, tell me about the review process. He goes, I don't have reviews. I said, well, do you sit down with them all? He goes, no. I said, why? He goes, well, they're only going to ask me for more money. And then I joked. I made a joke. I said, let me ask you a question. If you're going down a hallway and if one of the team is coming at you, do you kind of like make eye contact at the baseboard on the floor so you don't have to make eye contact with them? And he goes, that's not good, is it? I'm like, oh, jeez.
Really? That's what he was doing?
It was just hysterical. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is great.
It is a challenge. And for everyone listening to the show or watching the show, I think you got to realize that as business owners, until you take ownership for what you're doing, it's not going to change. It's not going to shift. So take me then. Obviously, he's changed. He's got what's been the result?
The result is 100% retention since we started working together.
So obviously, higher profitability. You got better retention. You got better productivity. You got all that.
And we did a team training about 4 months later into it, and everyone on his team said, I would not work for anybody else but him.
Wow.
And his disc profile changed. He got more outside of his comfort zone. He got more friendly. He got more working with the team. And the biggest thing he realized when he did the first review, he called me up. He goes, Coach, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, what? He goes, they want this. I said, what? They They wanted accountability, but I never put the accountability structure in place.
Wow. Yeah, your team do want to do a great job. That's the thing.
Yes.
When you hire people, they want to do a great job. They want to know they're doing a great job. They want feedback from you about, am I doing a good job or a bad job?
Absolutely.
All right. Take me through another client then that's one of your favorites over the years.
I have to say, Matt. Matt was great. It was a lesson for me. I did an exercise the week before that, what an ideal client was. I articulated, I wrote it down.
Okay, so that's a lesson for everybody, by
Yes,
the way.
absolutely.
And as a coach, you have to do this
Absolutely.
as well.
No
What
question.
does your ideal client look like? Do the exercise, because you're never going to get great clients unless you know what they look like.
Absolutely. So Matt and I were sitting down at his office, and he looked me right in the eye. He goes, "What would be a perfect client for you?" And I'm like, "You would." He goes, "Me?" I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "Why?"
Tell me why. Yeah, why not?
He had the attitude. He was like a dry sponge that would take whatever you give him. He wanted to learn. He wanted to be a leader. He wanted to be the best. He wanted to stand out. And I looked him right in the eye and said, "You and I would absolutely positively crush it together."
You know, it's funny because a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a coach because I'm failing. The actual people that get coaches that do the best are the ones that are already doing good and want to do amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so tell me about Matt. Younger guy, older guy? What's
Younger guy. And if you may remember Matt, he came down to your millionaire training in Miami. And he actually, I said, "I'm going to introduce you to Brad." He goes, "Oh my God, what am I going to say?" I said, "You're going to tell him that in 6 months, I'm going to be up on stage in Orlando and you're going to hand me the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award."
I remember this kid.
And 6
All
months
right.
later, he said,
He's
"Brad."
not that much of a kid. I'm not that old. I'm not.
And when he was up on stage, he goes, "Brad, remember?"
Yeah. I remember that now. So what did he have to shift? What business was he in?
He was in the flooring industry.
Right?
And he wanted to be a better leader.
But hang
and
on, Florida flooring, that time the construction industry was awful.
He started right at the bottom. So he realized that.
So he could never get anything but better.
Yes, exactly.
It's funny because I started Action Coach when Australia was in the middle of a recession. And I started making money. And then when times got good, I was like, what's going on? I didn't even understand that there was a difference at that
Well,
time.
do you want to start at the bottom of the cycle or the top of the cycle?
Preferably the bottom. But, okay, so young guy, what did you have to do with him?
With Matt, he really wanted to be the best. He wanted to work more in the on the business versus in the business. So he created a structure of delegation to start creating a organizational chart of how he was going to step back and delegate a lot to his team.
So he already had a pretty strong vision. Now it needed to be enacted.
Yes, and then we created the vision, the mission, the culture. And Matt was not a reader. Since he graduated college, he never read a book. He's read 66 books since then.
Dang.
And
I always talk about a book a week. Some people take me seriously. Most don't. This
did.
guy obviously took us seriously, buddy.
And he also created a passive income strategy. One of his goals was, I want to have 3 homes within 2 years. He got 4 within a year and a half.
Now, you know, for those of you who haven't, check out the investing stuff that we teach. You got to take a look at that as well. Business growth is important. That's what we do as business coaches. But the investing stuff is of vital importance. What do you think was the biggest shift he made that made him get the new results?
The commitment to himself. The
Right.
commitment to himself to be the best.
I
and
think
stand
that's
out.
what hiring a coach does for
Absolutely.
some people. They actually, I'm hiring a coach so that I know I'm going to do this, not I'm going to mess around with it or possibly do it. I'm actually going to do this.
And not only the commitment, but the investment in himself. He came to BEF,
Right.
Business Excellence Forum, 3 years in a row. He's invested in the books, invested in the people. He wasn't afraid to write a check to get better.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, one more client. Let's do one more.
Jim. Jim was actually a referral, and Jim was in the carpeting business, 35 years in the business, and had no mojo.
Hang on, how long ago was this? When was this? What year?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So 2015, no mojo left because he fought through all of the tough.
35
I'm a
years,
guy.
he's like done with
So
it.
he went through the downturn in the economy, Florida's massive negative. He survived all that. I can understand having no mojo left at that point.
And the first question I asked him, so how'd you do last year? I'm not sure. I said, what do you mean you're not sure? It's April. He goes, well, my accountant knows. I said, well, does your accountant own the business or do you own the business? He goes,
Hang on. What you're telling me is this guy being 35 years in business and didn't know his numbers.
didn't know his numbers.
Oh my God. I bet he knew what was in the bank. That was about it. What did we make in sales and what's in the bank?
As long as I can make payroll, you know the answer, I'm good.
Oh gosh. That's a killer. So obviously you had to get under some numbers and budgeting and stuff.
We created a budget of which he hated doing. I didn't care. Every month I had him create an entire budget for the year, take last year, take a 20% increase, put the numbers, lay them out, and every month I say, Jim, what's this? I don't know. Well, you think it might be valuable to know that?
You know, I find it interesting that people, like, there's no way you can run your business if you don't know your numbers. It runs you. The tail wags the dog.
Right.
You're trapped.
Yes. And the greater part about it, within 4 months, he knew his numbers inside and out. And then he started, like, he had that little mental cash register going in his head. He'd be looking at productivity, where he's losing some money. And then we got to the point where, who did I want to work with? What type of business did I want to do? And what were the best margins? So he got into his fun zone of doing what he loved to do to get the most money with the people he wanted to do.
Okay, so here's the lesson. Sometimes you got to go through the hard stuff
Yes.
of budgeting and things. And buddy, I'm an accountant and I still hate budgeting, but I got to do it. It has to be done. It's just one of them things. It's like, you know, if you want to stay fit, you still got to do the stuff. So where's he at now? I mean, 35 years. Did he take vacations in the 35 years?
Yes. Well, first of all, he had his 2 best years ever in business, year 36 and 37, after he knew his numbers. And we got him to take a 2-week vacation twice a year. And the biggest testimony is where he goes, on their first coaching call when he got back, it was, Mike, I took 2 weeks off and, man, it almost seems like this place runs better without me.
And that's the goal.
Yes.
I mean, that is the goal. Build a business that works so you don't have to. You know, Mike, it's been a pleasure having you here. I love listening to your stories of your clients.
Thank you.
I know, now for anyone looking for a coach, call Mike. You got to call the guy, have a chat with him. Look at growing your business. I love the business we're in, and I think it's a lot of fun. This is the Business Coach TV show. Join us again next week for our next coach so we get to interview and find out more lessons on how to grow your business.